It's Budget for Success. Woo! We in the house, and I have Big Daddy.
Hey, everybody.
Big Daddy's in the house. Whoa, look at there. Hi, Caprita. Caprita is in the house, and Laverne is in the house. Yes. Woo, woo. How y'all doing? Woo. Okay, today we're so excited because we're going to talk about communication, which is very key in relationships. And really, how do you talk about finances? How do you communicate and talk with your loved one about finances?
Money.
Money. Yes. So that is so important. And we have experience, we've seen couples sometimes it's very difficult to navigate that conversation. And so we want to give you some tips and tools that we've used because we feel like we have gone full circle with our conversation and how we talk about money. And now when we talk about money, we get excited. We start getting excited about building more wealth and having more money. We're at the point now where we're past all of the, wait, what you did, what? No, we're past that now. And so we want to share some of the tips and tools that help us get there. So one of the things that we've learned through communication is, hon, you had this wonderful saying, and I love it. So I want you to share it with the people. What do you say like is key for communicating and talking about money?
So we were driving. I was driving. She was riding. That's normal.
I'm a passenger princess.
There you go. So she was asking me questions about today and the topic for today. And I said, it's like two countries forming a treaty. When you're having a discussion, there has to be a give and take. Both sides have to gain in some kind of way. If one side is gaining, then it's going to be off balance, and it's not going to benefit the both of you as a unit.
Yes.
If both sides gain, both sides elevate, both sides grow, you have a foundation that creates fruit. So it's like a treaty. You come together. This is what I want. This is what I want. This is what I'm willing to give up, or this is what I'm giving up. Or maybe we should shift on this or shift on that. It's negotiations.
Yeah. And a treaty also is, I like that analogy because a treaty, number one, it creates some guidelines, right? That you both agree to follow. And if they need to be amended, treaties can be amended. Yep. But you want to create the big picture. Yes. Yeah. What is it that you want in the relationship when it comes to finances? Let's talk about it, right? Let's put it out there. Let's come up with ways that we can really picture what we want our cash, our investments, our wealth, our assets, all of that. What do we want that to look like?
I think the important thing is when you're talking and you're sharing your thoughts, that you are honest,
yes,
candid. I know some men don't like to use the word vulnerable, but if you are just speaking your mind and being honest about what you think, what you want, what you feel, it allows the other person to really absorb the true significance of who you are. And knowing each other more and more, the better you know the other person. The more I know my wife, the better equipped I am to make decisions that's beneficial to both of us.
Yes.
I know what I want. I got that down pat, but she has to tell me what she wants, and it can't be minimized or inferred, because that happens a lot.
You assume, yes, you assume. I remember.
He should have known. No.
I remember, I just assumed everybody wanted to be a millionaire, right? That was like my goal. That was my ultimate. Like, I want to be a millionaire. And I just assumed everyone wants to be a millionaire, don't they?
No. Some people like what they make, and they don't want it to be nothing different. They don't want an increase. Some people feel like that is more stress, more responsibility. They got to do more. But some people just people are different.
Yeah.
Everybody's different.
Everybody's different. And people also grow. Because so when we first got together and we first got married, I was on the path of, I want to be a millionaire so freaking bad. And my husband was like, I want to have fun. I want to enjoy. I want to travel. I want to build my business. He was on a different track. And I was like, what? No, we want to be millionaires. And it was really, we had to kind of have this big picture discussion. Yeah. And figure out, okay, he wants wealth, but he hasn't put a number on it. And for some reason, it felt important for me to put a number on it. I had to put a number on it, but he just wanted wealth. And what did wealth look like for you?
Well, because I'm different.
Yes.
And you're different. And I'm glad that you're different than me. I'm glad about that part. That's a different subject. So anyways, but because I base things on how I feel, not the number itself.
Yeah.
Being wealthy has a certain feeling to me. Being wealthy, there's a freedom that goes with that. I'm free to pick and choose how I use my time and how I spend my time. Money comes freely, and I'm not concerned about the day-to-day expenses of living life. And I know everybody has a different definition of what wealth is to them. But for me, which is one reason why I'm self-employed and I run a business, is I get to pick and choose how I maneuver. Whatever feels right for me, that's what I do.
Right. And for me, what was important was that we established like this way of allocating our resources, right? Mm-hmm. Divvying up our resources, because I was more hands-on, right? I needed to say, okay, how are we going to manage our spending money? How are we going to manage our bill money? Right? Because you're coming together as a unit. Previously, when I was by myself, I did it all. How are we going to determine how much money gets saved? And not just saved for long-term emergency fund. Everybody call it emergency fund. I call it reserves. But also just to save money for vacation, for Mother's Day, Father's Day, Valentine's Day, fun things. And then how much money are we going to put towards retirement? How much money are we going to put towards debt? For me, it was really important to kind of designate where all of the funds were going to go and which buckets. And his goal was just to generate more money that I could play with, like that I could use.
It's kind of like, for me, I know that I'm different.
Yes.
I know that. Mm-hmm. I'm certain of that. And it required some adjustments on my end, because we are two people, and we have differences, but we're coming together as one, as a unit, and we're blending and mixing. And when you blend and mix, there's going to be some ingredients that comes into your bowl that you're not used to.
Yeah.
And you have to mix it up and absorb it and learn it and adjust to it.
Right.
And for me, I had to adjust to more structure of where the numbers are. And and even now, when we were apart from before we met each other, I did the budget for myself and for my son, and I had a spreadsheet, and I did all of that, being responsible with a budget. But the level of intensity, I think that's the word that I'm looking for, the level of intensity that you exert towards the budget is a little bit different than myself. And I realized that based on the fruits that you have bared, your method is fruitful.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with making the adjustments of having things be more structured and pinpointed. Yes, it's different for me. Yes, I have to kind of shift a little bit the way I look at the budget, but I have evolved into a space of allowing you to manage the budget at your level, which is a benefit to me.
Right. So you figure out who in the relationship maybe is best with deciding the budget, putting the budget together. Maybe you both are good at it. Maybe one person has more skill at it than the other. It's really honoring each other's skill sets, right? Honoring what they're good at. And then you got to play as a team, right? Oof. It's the treaty. We're back to the treaty. So if we establish a method for our spending money, then that's how we use the spending money. And we don't go charge. Like he would never charge something on the credit card and not tell me about it, because that's part of our treaty.
Yeah. When you break an agreement, you lose trust. And if you lose trust, man, you are just, you're punching your relationship in the throat. I mean, I know that's a graphic thought, but yes, you are. You're taking your relationship and you just punch it in the throat. If you lose your trust, if you do careless things, emotional things, sometimes emotional spending, if you do not exert self-discipline and you make decisions outside of your agreement, then you are diminishing the trust that you have. If you diminish the trust, you tear things down quite a bit.
I agree. It's so much easier. Hey, Faith, how are you? Hey, hopping in the budget with Bunny.
Hey, what's going on with her today?
That's her anniversary.
Man.
Anniversary. Baby, you and me. Oh, they're joining in for their anniversary. Okay, so we talking nuggets, Bunny, because we talking about building a treaty, when two countries come together and they build a treaty so they can cohabitate and thrive and prosper at the same time. Both countries win. And that's what we're trying to do in our relationship, is win. We are forming treaties. And so once we both decide what works for us as a nugget, as together, as a team, when we figure that out, it's really important that you honor that treaty.
Yeah. Knowing and understanding the other person is important, just like I know and understand you. Just like I knew that Bunny and her husband were having their anniversary today, but if I mentioned it, I knew she was going to sing it. So
you sold too much. You wanted me to sing it.
Understanding each other. That's important.
That's important. So you decide what your spending money is and how it flows and who controls it and who's over it and who's spending. You decide where the bill money goes and who's going to take care of the bills. Maybe it's both of you. Maybe you split the bills. Maybe you both pay the bills together. It's whatever works for you. You definitely want to establish some short-term savings, right? What's the point in saving money for long-term, right? We want some short-term savings so we can do fun things like vacation. We can buy that furniture we always wanted. We can get some new pots and pans. You want to save for long-term because retirement, right? We're going to have some money for retirement. And then you also want to make sure if you have created debt, you have a plan for getting out of that debt. Because I am here to tell you, when you go into retirement, life feels so much better when you retire with no debt.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. It does. It feels really good. Yeah. So you definitely want to do that. So now, after you have created this treaty that kind of outlines how the money is going to be spent or saved or paid, and all that, then you want to establish a plan.
Right.
Yeah. So talk about some of the plans that we put together. What are some plans that we did over the years?
Well, depending on we do events and experiences.
Yes.
And that's what works for us. Whatever it is for you, if it is, experiences that you like to have, if it's things that you like to have, whatever that is, you have to plan for it. And you sit down and you have a discussion. This is what we're planning to do. This is how much it's going to cost. This is how much we can contribute to it over time. And this is how long it's going to take.
Right.
It's really like being in a business meeting. It just really is.
Yeah.
And once you establish what that is, then you formulate a plan, you put it in some kind of record of some sort, whether it's on a spreadsheet or it's in a notebook or a book that you keep notes, or you old school and you like to write it down, whatever that is. You need to have a place in which you can reference it and go back and say, this is what we agreed on, and this is what we're doing, and we're tracking this far, this is where we are. When you have goals that are set up and you achieve those goals together.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of our trips now are all planned ahead of time. They're planned a year, 2 years.
Yeah.
We already have a cruise planned for 2026.
Yep.
So we have a savings plan for that, for putting money aside.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're different, right?
Yes, we are.
For me, I want to save little pieces every month just to show the progress. For him, I would say, by this day, we need 10 grand. He'll say, I'll make it happen. And then he gets in deep, and he might work on 5 different jobs just to come up with the money for this major occasion.
But for me, that works for me. And it's not, when she says 5 different jobs, it's not equivalent to me being on the grind. When I'm working, I love what I do. I'm having fun.
That's true.
And so, and certain jobs they're different, different amounts for different jobs, whatever. But I sit back when nobody's awake, and I sit at my desk and I meditate and I visualize, and I know what I want or what I need. And it comes from wherever, whenever it needs to come. And that's what works for me. So I just cruise along, and I know we have, a repetition of doing certain things and putting certain amounts of money away, but I thrive on the
last minute, y'all. It's really the last minute.
It's the last minute before the time is up.
It's up.
Whether or not it is in the first 5 minutes or the last 5 minutes, it's still within the window of requirement.
And he does. When I went on the trip to go see my girl Bunny, hopping in the budget with Bunny, I was like, bet we need 5 grand because we've got to pay for the flights. We got to pay for the hotels. We have excursions. We got all this stuff planned. And I told him how much we needed. And he was like, okay, when do you need it by? Right. So I was like, well, if I charge the tickets today, then the credit card payment is going to be due at this date. He goes, got it. That's it. And then he goes and he makes it happen. And then I take money that I've been putting together, piece by piece by piece, because y'all know I do my little amount. So I got 50 here, 20 there, 30 there. I pull it all together. And so between the money I've pulled together and then the lump sum that I don't know how he just materializes by that date. But by that date, he'd be like, yep, I got it. Here's the money. Boom.
I go in the trunk of my car and get a stack. No, I don't.
I don't know who he hit over the head, but he just comes up with money. So for some people, they would go, that drives me crazy. I can't stand it. You wait to the last minute. But I don't. I just know, I have faith. I have confidence. I know if he says he's going to make it happen, I just know he's going to do it. Yeah. And so I let him do it his way. And then you better believe I'm on the side doing my little thing, cash stuffing, putting my little envelopes together, so we're a good team. We figure out what works for each other. And then that's how we establish our plan, is to create the objective. We're going to go on a cruise in 2026. We're going to France in November.
Yes.
Woo! France, bonjour. So it's like we're putting the pieces together to make that happen. So it's also exciting, right? When we have those future financial goals that are in front of us.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I don't know. Don't you get excited?
Well, it's exciting, if you're by yourself. Then it's exponentially exciting when you're with someone that you love and care about.
Yeah.
So I would never say, why is she pinching stuff together like that? Just let me take care of it. I don't like that or whatever. No, that's not how I feel. You flow in your way, I flow in my way, and
right.
We come together. And because we come together, in our own way, but as a unit, that's where the magic happens.
Yeah.
That's where, when we come together and we accomplish something, that's where us as a unit is elevated and made more powerful. And together we conquer whatever we set our sights on.
Yeah. When you dream about the future, when you really put that vision out there and your mate joins you in that dream, I mean, that's even biblical. Where two or more are gathered in my name, there I am in the midst. You know, it's really powerful. It just creates this synergy, this energy. Things just manifest like exponentially because it's just a joint effort. It doesn't work if you're doubting. If I doubted my spouse, he says to me, "Hun, I got it. How much you need? You need $6,000 by this date. Okay, I got it." If I sit there just because I want to be right and doubt him the whole time, like I know he ain't gonna do that because he wait to the last minute and he think he just gonna pop up and come up with 6,000. It's not gonna happen. Watch, he ain't gonna do it. If I put that kind of negative energy out there, it is more likely that it won't manifest.
Correct.
And I'll be like, see, I knew it. I would be right. But would that be good for either one of us?
No, we get whatever we look for.
Yes.
We see whatever we're looking
yes.
for. And if you're looking for the good in me, then
the good shows up.
Yep.
Yes.
And vice versa.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why not? What does it hurt to be totally in support, like be his number one cheerleader? Like, he got this. I don't even think twice. If he says he's going to do it, I just know he's going to do it. And if he doesn't do it, I'm sitting there going, don't worry, I got you. But I just know all along that it's going to happen. I just don't have any doubt. And that's how we really need to have that confidence in each other.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt you. What does it hurt you to believe in your mate? It doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah. Being a recipient of a bona fide cheerleader.
Yes.
Having you say to me, go, you got it. That's right. Get it. That motivation drives me to surpass whatever, goal there is.
Yeah.
I can run and charge forward with that kind of a cheer, but if it's a different kind of cheer where it's like, I don't know, I'll be ready if you don't get it.
Right.
I'm like, well, shit, I don't want to even try it.
Right.
It's just, why fight uphill when you have a partner with you that's creating the hill?
Yes.
That's not fun.
That is not fun.
That's not fun.
Yeah. Bunny said her and her husband, they work out bills together and then they stick to their roles. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You, whatever your place is, whatever your process is, you do your thing and then they do theirs, and just be supportive of each other and dream. Oh my gosh. If you guys don't have dreams about where you want to go in your marriage, what kind of financial prosperity you want to have 5 years from now, 10 years from now, if you don't dream together, it's not a fun place to be, because what are you creating? Because you are always creating. You are always creating. Yeah. So you're either creating what you don't want or you're creating what you do want.
Totally. That was, what was that? Sunday morning when we woke up, we didn't even make it out of the bedroom. We were talking for probably an hour, or probably more than an hour. And we were having a real good, uplifting conversation. And it was nice. It was nice to start the day that way, with encouragement and acknowledgement and lifting up. And I think if that doing that, putting into the other person, it helps create the best version of each individual person. And when you do that, it allows you to excel even more.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it, you go to work, or my husband, he has clients. I mean, we deal with the outside world every day, all day long, and little pieces just chip away at you. You know, somebody says something that was disrespectful, or a client was dismissive. I mean, you just put up with a whole lot. But man, when you can come back home and get refueled and just feel real good. I mean, just spend an hour dreaming and going back. I feel so good. Like, I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I just feel like something big is going to happen.
Right.
Yeah, something just great is going to happen. And when you can encourage each other that way and set financial goals that really excite you, and you make you happy and get excited about it, and you plan for large purchases like traveling around the world, or going to France, or going to see my bestie. Those are fun times just to talk about it. And then, you know, do some outlandish things. Fly first class.
Yep.
Hire a driver to drive you around. I mean, you know, do some things that make you feel good.
Yeah. Whatever. If flying first class is not your thing, then it's not. If you say, "Oh, that's just too much money. I can't see spending whatever,"
then don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Because it's not going to be the experience that
Right.
you expected. It will be the experience that you expect it to be, as in a waste of money.
Right.
Whatever it is that makes you feel good about what you're doing, and we're talking about spending money. Whatever it is that makes you feel good about the money you're spending, then that's what you should be doing. I know we're talking a lot about relationships and feelings and all of those things. It is critically important that the two of you, whoever that is, the two of you are honest with each other.
Yeah.
And that you create a safe space to be honest, without being ridiculed, without being minimized, without being taken advantage of, or all those apprehensive things that run through people's mind when they think about being candid and honest to someone that's closest to them. If you can't be candid and honest to that person directly next to you, man, you're missing out.
Yeah, you always want to have like a win-win situation in your marriage.
Yeah.
How do you both win in the discussion? How do you both win when you're developing steps for the future? How do you both win? And just trusting each other. There is no better feeling in knowing that you can trust the person will have your best interests at heart, that will protect you, that will love you, be there for you. I say to people, to women, when I'm talking to women and I talk about my spouse, I'm not speaking for everybody's spouse, but for my spouse, I know if ever a situation arose where he had to make a decision between my life or his, without question, he would spare or make sure that I was safe and that I was protected. And if there is someone out there that is willing to give up their life for you, they earn a certain respect in your book. They are at a certain level. And it's no different than how we honor the military. The military, they go out and they fight for our country. And when they come back, we go, thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. We appreciate your service. Thank you for what you did. Well, it is no different than your spouse who goes out there every day, making it happen, creating a happy space for you and your family to be living in. And if you have a man that is a protector, woo, thank you for your service. And, you know, he can do some other things too. Yeah,
I'm service oriented.
Sir, thank you for your service. Y'all know what I'm saying. Y'all know what I'm saying. We're gonna keep it PG for the you know, in case there's some young ones trying to get some knowledge, right? But yes, we definitely have operated and we've grown to be in a space where we trust one another and we honor each other and we respect decisions that have to be made sometimes. He may have to make a decision and I'm not there. And I know he's going to make a decision in our best interest.
Right.
But then he'll come back and he'll tell me, hey, hun, this is what I decided on, and this is how we're moving forward. Like, he decided that he wanted to start an account for well, we only have one grandson, but he wanted to set it up so it would be for grandchildren.
Might as well.
Children that aren't even born yet. And I was like, you want to do
Get
what?
ready.
You want to put money away for a child that hasn't been born?
Hopefully that doesn't alarm our daughter.
Right? Like, come on, baby. You got one out. Let's time to pop out another one. But you know what? I had to honor that that's what he wanted to do. I was like, then do it. Go ahead, set up the account. Let's start putting some money in there because that's what you want to do.
Yeah. Meeting with Andy tomorrow.
Yes. Y'all remember our financial advisor? He came on and did a talk with us. So we called him and setting up this account. But so sometimes there are things that you want to do in the marriage. And my husband always has this thing where if not now, then when. Mm-hmm. But it's never really like a no. Right? We honor each other like, this is something I want. Even if it's not something that's high on his list. Going to France was not a thing that he was like, oh, I gotta do.
No. But I understood that it is an earnest desire of yours.
Yes.
And it's for our son because he took 2 or 3 years of French.
Yeah, he took 3 years of French.
3 years of French. So it's like a reward for him to, see what the country is like. But in understanding those things, I'm on board.
Yeah.
Even if it's not something that I really just want to do, that doesn't matter. It's seeing smiles on the 2 people's faces that I love and care about. I'm in front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't like, okay, we're going to do it right now. Because when I brought it up to him, like I said, he took 3 years of French. So this was 3 years ago when I talked about doing this. So it wasn't a yes right away. But it wasn't a no. It was like, if not now, then when? Okay, right. We're going to do it by November 2025. So there we go. And so we've had to implement discipline in order to prepare for us to get to that point, so we're ready to go.
And that, if not now, then when, that's a part of the negotiating process.
Yes, that's the treaty.
Yeah, that's the treaty. That's like sitting down at a table. One person's at one end of the table, the other person at the other end of the table. And there's a lot of back and forth going. Okay, so you don't feel like doing that now, but when? When? So then we decide on when, and then we decide on how much needs to accumulate for that time. It's really about negotiating.
Yes, it's establishing the treaty. Always look at it as a treaty. It's not that somebody's going to win or lose in the conversation.
No.
Somebody goes, you always just want to hear me. You just want to listen. And I mean, you just don't want to listen to me. You just want to hear yourself talk and woo. Let's not argue like that, because that gets you nowhere. Let's talk about how do we establish a treaty that's win-win for both parties, and we can use this treaty moving forward, the years to come. It's something that is just going to win. It's going to be benefit for both of us.
Right.
Yeah. It's a give and take, and then it's also, as you said, really knowing each other. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because when you know your mate, why would you bring something crazy to them when you know that's not them? It's just
but if you know them enough, you know how you can package something together and present it to them. So it's about, what answer do you want?
Yes.
What are the results that you want?
Yeah.
And everybody is different, different circumstances, different situations. If I'm presenting something to you, I need to evaluate how you're going to respond to it based on how I present it.
Yeah.
And foolish of me if I come strong and hard and I know it's it's something that you're resistant to.
Right.
I got to come around and peek inside the door and say, hey, how you doing? Be subtle about it. Work your way in. Some people call it being manipulative. I call it just adjusting to the circumstances.
Know your audience.
Know your audience.
Yeah. There are times when I'll say to my husband, listen, I just want to vent. Like, I just want to share. I say that right at the top because he'll try to start solving it. And it's like, no, I don't want you to solve it.
I'm a fixer, and she knows that I'm a fixer. Yep. So if she don't want me to fix it, she'll come and say, I just want to vent.
I just want to vent.
And like, that means I can just hear her out.
Yes. And like, I'll just share with him, I had these feelings. I'll tell him I felt insecure. I know it was me. I own it. And I didn't feel right. And I had to work through it. And I'll tell him how I worked through it. But I'll let him know it was something that was said or done. And it just didn't feel good to me. But I've learned take responsibility for my feelings. He said whatever he said, but I can receive it how I choose to receive it. And so I'll tell him, look, I don't need you to solve it. I'm just sharing with you. This is what I'm feeling, what I'm experiencing. Oh, Faith said, I'm not married, but this is good info when considering a mate. Absolutely. And Faith, you know what? These strategies we even use when we negotiate with our kids.
Yep.
We establish treaties with our kids or on the job. We got some folks that we got to work. We're trying to get to the goals that we need to get to, which I sometimes figure out how can my boss win and how can I win in this situation? And then I present it in that way, right? So communication is great when you can establish good communication skills with your mate, because those same skills, and I tell you that all the time when I'm at work or something, and somebody will be kind of like an alpha A personality, type A personality, real aggressive and things like that. And
Alpha A.
A for alpha.
I know what the A stands for, and it ain't alpha.
And my husband has taught me how to be real direct when people come at you like that. And so I'll just ask questions. So what are you saying? Or what is it that you want from me? Or I'm not sure I understand what you're communicating. And I learned that from us talking and communicating. And I'm like, I'll use those same tools at work. So yes, I am with you, Caprita and Faith. You guys just grab these tools and use it, even when negotiating with your kids at the job. And when that right mate comes along, you'll have some great communication skills. You'll be ready for that relationship.
Mates and partners and husbands and wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, fiancés of sorts.
All of the above.
All of the above. The person you choose to be with, that is a critical life-changing decision that will govern your path for the rest of your life while you're with that person. I now understand today why years ago parents used to be so involved in their children's choices of a mate.
Yes.
That person that they choose, they are choosing for their own lives to be altered by another person.
Yeah.
Because the person that you're connected with, the things that you say and do transfers over into my space.
Yes. And vice versa.
And that decision, deciding to have you be the person, give you that huge responsibility.
Right.
It had better be the right damn person.
Yes.
Because they will either lift you up, or grab you by your ankles and pull you down.
Yes.
One or the other.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you've already made the decision for the person that you've chosen to be with, and you've been with them for years, there's still an opportunity to grow and mold and shift and develop.
Yep.
And it just comes from having a new perspective on things, new discussions, new levels of trust, And really, it's about how you see yourself, because believe it or not, your mate has a great propensity of seeing you exactly how you see yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
Yep.
can't cheer for my wife and lift her up if she's not willing to stand up.
Yep.
It just
And he said
doesn't
that
work.
there's times where, this was years ago, I would say something, kind of derogatory about myself, oh, I don't like my stomach, or I wish this. And he would be like, will you stop talking about my wife? Because I don't appreciate it. And he was like, I see you, the beautiful you. And when you highlight something negative, that mess up my psyche. That's what he said. I mess up his psyche because I'm focusing on something that I feel is negative when he's looking at it as this beautiful.
Yeah.
And so really it is important that we see ourselves in a certain way. So if you see yourself as someone who brings something to the table, someone who brings value to the relationship, someone who brings wealth and abundance to the relationship, and you both are feeling that way and operating in that way, you have a win-win situation. Your treaty is going to prosper.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you fight and pull each other down, then nobody wins in the situation.
Get what you get and don't throw a fit.
Yes, you get what you get and don't throw a fit. So that's our word for today, is really enhancing the communication between you and not just your spouse, but all the people that are around you, especially people that are in your financial sphere of influence, which would be like your children or the people you work with, or if you have your own business, your clients. Really help really tie into some of these tools that we've shared with you today to help you improve the communication so that you can really generate more wealth. Because that's what, for me, life and wealth is not always just money, right?
No, it's not.
Wealth is relationships. Wealth is health, having a healthy body. Wealth is having family around you. I mean, there's so many aspects of wealth, but one of the key is communication and creating that.
Yeah. You have to be open and honest enough for your thoughts to be shared, and for the other person to know who you are, so they can
Yes.
connect with the real you. The
Yes.
real you.
Yes. All right, guys. Does anybody have any questions? Type it in the comments. We're about to close it out. We thank you so much for joining us today. We've seen some folks have come in and gone, and then there's some folks that are still here with us. Woo, woo. Yes. Yes. Oh.
Pre-marriage counseling. Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us. So we will be sharing some more Thursday wisdom. So you have to look for it and check it out.
Yeah, I was wondering how often we were discussing how often we would do Thursday wisdom, whether it's going to be every Thursday. And I was like, let's spread it out a little bit first. But there's so much to talk about, so much to share.
Yes.
And I'm actually looking forward to diving deeper in the nitty-gritties of certain things. It's one thing to say, do this or do that, but it's another thing to say how to do it.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So you guys come back when we do our next Thursday wisdom. If you have some challenges, some examples, some things that you're really struggling with, I want you to bring it to the table so we can share with you how we have navigated some of those conversations, some of those challenges. You see us today and we're having a ball. We loving each other and everything.
It's been a journey.
Woo, but hey, it didn't happen. Some of the growing that we did was in previous relationships.
Oh, yes. Primed and ready for the new.
Yes. So we have lots of experience to speak from. So we would love to share how we navigate through some of those difficult topics, especially around money.
Yeah.
So we'll be an open book. We'll tell you, you know what, this is what happened and this is how we got through it.
Yeah.
So please come back for our next Thursday wisdom. Stay tuned. Woo! Bye. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Bunny and Mr. Rapid. Happy anniversary.
Yeah. Happy anniversary.
Yes. Happy anniversary. They got like 34, 35, 36. I don't know how many years.
It has a 3 in the front. I do know that.
Yes. We're going to bring them to the stage, baby. We got to bring them to the stage one Thursday. Yes. Yes. Bye, guys. We love you.
Love you guys. Thank you much.